Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Adventures of Jacoby. I am the Winter Warlock here with Storm Gaming Alliance for another episode in Skyrim. Welcome back to Chapter 3, everybody. So in the last episode, as you can see behind me here, we got working on our house. Yes, this chapter we are doing some Hearthfire DLC. Jacoby having defeated Alduin in Chapter 2. If you haven't checked that out, definitely go back and check out the other chapters. We have been just exploring and adventuring and having a grand old time. And it's time for Jacoby to slowly descend into retirement. So he decided he wanted to build his own house. So we're going to continue with some construction here shortly. Stay tuned. And welcome back. So, as I said, last time we started building our house. We got the first little bit of house built, got ourselves in a garden, and as we can see, well, our garden popped up on us here. So we've got a couple of potato plants that popped up, a couple of leeks that popped up, and that was all we really planted. Now, off camera, I did go around and make some purchases. There are some things you need. Of course, clay. I bought some more corundum and some iron, but glass, you need glass, some goat horns to make some sconces, a bunch more iron ingots, some leather strips, let's see, and some straw. You need some straw for bedding and the like. You also need, I think we might need some smaller bits of wood, but we'll get to that. I also went over here to the drafting table and staked out the area for the main house. This area is just a little small. Something I would have loved to see in Hearthstone is a little bit more variability in what you could, or Hearthfire rather. If I say Hearthstone, just know I mean Hearthfire. I'm not talking about the card game. But I wish there was a little bit more variability in what you could set out and build. But nonetheless, I staked out the plot for the larger portion of the house. This is sort of going to be the foyer, the entrance into the house. And well, we want Lydia to come up here. You can get different folks to sort of be your own personal steward, and they keep watch over the place and all of that. But of course, you need quarters for them to stay in. This small little house, we can pop inside and I can show you. Before we go inside, I did build a smelter. I did that off camera, just so we had a way to get any iron or corundum ore melted down into ingots, so it's actually usable metal. But in here in this small house, you can set up, I mean, you can just live in this small house. If you've never played the Hearthfire DLC, you can certainly make this your main house. You have this little workbench here, and we can put in all sorts of stuff. Barrels and end tables, a double bed, a couple of chairs, more storage stuff. These wall sconces, which is why I picked up the goat horns. And then your fire pit, wall sconces, all sorts of stuff. So you can actually outfit this area to just be the full house. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to knock a hole right about here. This panel, we're going to knock that right out, and we're going to build a larger area. You do have a chest in here. I didn't bother putting anything in there for right now because we're okay for carry weight. But that is one thing to sort of keep an eye on when you're building, is carry weight can be a problem because you've got to have a bunch of iron, and some stuff you need outside, some stuff you need inside. But yeah, I think we're going to attempt to see if we can get at least the basic structure made up for the outside, for the main house. and then we'll sort of see what we want to do as far as starting to get that outfitted, because along with migrating Lydia over here, which is just as easy as talking to her and telling her to move houses, for those of you who have never dealt with followers or anything in this game, if you own multiple homes, you'll have a conversation option. Oh, mercy, that is a large deer. Yep, run along. You'll have a dialogue option to tell them which house you want them to stay in case you're moving around or staying at different houses. So, without further ado, let's see what we need to start building this house. So, of course, just like last time, we do have these miscellaneous things. You can put in a nice animal stable, grindstone to work on your weapons, armorer's bench to work on your armor, of course, apiary for beekeeping, and an animal pen for, you know, cows and chickens and the like, which we may set one of these up at some point. My main thing here used to be you had a smelter option here, but of course I built that. So as far as the house, looks like we've got to build a main door, which I think is interesting that you have to build another main door. You should just be able to blow a hole in the back side of that house. But yeah, we're going to need some fittings, some locks, hinges, and nails. So let's make those. Gonna just sort of grind our smithing up here inadvertently. So hinges, a couple of iron fittings, a lock, and we'll make like 20 nails just to get us started. I figured you guys wouldn't care too much to see me just gathering supplies, so that's why I did that off camera. But now, just threw in that door, and oh, that was weird. Transparent house. Now we have a door. It's a little, you know, up off the ground because we haven't poured a foundation, but now we have a door. A door that we don't necessarily need, but we have it nonetheless. So now we can go in and we can start just like the main house. Come over to our workbench, and we can start laying in the foundation. So we need some more quarried stone, which I figured we would. So we're just gonna go over here. This is what the stone quarry texture is. You can see it sticks out from the main sort of bedrock, a little bit more reflective. And I do believe that these stone quarries and the clay deposits, which I had shown on the last episode, I believe that you can really just mine the tar right out of them. You know, most ores you can get, what, I think 9, is it 9 pieces? No, it takes 9 strikes, so you get 3 pieces out. With the quarried stone and the clay, you don't have to worry about that limitation so much. Let me just get this. There we go. Just wanted to start from a 0 point. So quarried stone, yeah, all the way up to 72. We just mined 60 quarried stone. I think we only had 12. So we just mined a bunch of quarried stone out of here. And interestingly enough, there's a little bit more laying on the ground right there. And similarly, I had found it took me a little bit of looking, but similarly with these clay deposits, you can pretty much just pound on them for a while to get your wood out of there. Now, something I was looking at over here, yeah, we've got this wood chopping block, and I think we will need firewood for something, for construction and stuff. Not everything uses the full sawn logs. But now that we've got this quarried stone, let's see if we can get this foundation laid. Not what I wanted to do. There we go. There we are. Plenty. So 101 sawn logs, 75 quarried stone. We've got more than enough to get rocking. So as we can see, I sort of just blew right through this last time. I mean, we got a little bit of texture problems, but I do believe, well, not that I believe, next you end up putting a floor over this foundation, and that, I believe, takes up the extra space that these plants are just glitching through the texture. But yeah, now you can see this raised us up off the ground a little bit. So this door actually, you know, works. But yeah, of course, you could always just leave it at this and have like this massive stone patio. You wouldn't be able to build anything out here, mind you. But if you just wanted a big porch and you wanted to pretend you had a bunch of stuff, then you could do that. I don't know if there's any mods for like placeables and stuff. I don't know quite how this Skyrim modding stuff works. As in case you have not seen most of this Let's Play, this is completely vanilla Xbox 360 Skyrim that I'm actually running through a capture card, so super old school. As this was sort of an appreciation of the game and seeing how it sort of held up so many years after its main production. But yeah, easy as that. We've got a nice foundation laid. So let's go ahead and finish off this main portion of the house. We can throw, oh, we need some more nails, gotcha. So yeah, we can throw on this main floor. And like I said, that should have taken up, oh, nope, didn't quite take up the textures. Once you build it so it counts as an inside location, I think it clears the underlying textures. But now you can see we've got this nice sort of chiseled shaped stone floor going on here. So let me make a couple more nails, another batch of 10 or 20, and yeah, see if we can get some walls put up on this thing. A couple more nails, there we go. All right, and yeah, we can slap up the walls. So interestingly, first level exterior walls and the second story supports. So as you can see, this just basically puts in the structure to build. Then what we will be doing is filling in these gaps between the logs with the walls, and then inside just about here is where there will be a staircase to a second floor. The second part of the house is quite a bit bigger than the main entryway there. So let's go ahead and finish that off and see where we're at. So we will do the first level walls, and we need some more nails, of course. I try not to spam the building materials too much, because you'll end up with a whole handful of nails and iron fittings and stuff when everything's done, and you'll be sitting there wondering why you don't have any iron ingots to be able to actually do anything with. So now that we have these exterior walls, we cannot jump in from the outside. However, we can from the inside, because this does not have a back door. There will be, once there's a second floor, you can put like a little balcony overlook. But let's go inside and check the progress. Now that we slapped some walls up, let's go see what the inside's starting to look like. Now, something interesting you do have to watch out for when you're building your houses out here with Hearthfire is, oh, that's interesting, it still counts as outside, so reloading Skyrim. Your house will come under attack. Giants, wolves, skeevers, you can get like skeever infestation, banditry, which I think is pretty cool. Can be a little startling if you haven't visited your home in a while and you come back and there's just a giant just beating your door down. But that's one nice thing about having a steward here, especially considering the fact that I will be using Lydia, as she is a warrior. They're here to defend the place. So yeah, now you can see we are inside, so to speak. So this door, obviously, once this becomes a fully enclosed structure, this will just be a door, an interior door. It won't be a loading screen door. But yeah, you come in here. Actually, as a matter of fact, we may be retired, but we are still the Dragonborn, and I don't think I want my house to fill up with snow. So we'll see if we can shout this storm away. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, this will sort of be the main, room. We'll have like a nice cook stove and stuff in here. You have a few options of additions and stuff that you can put on the back. I believe right about in here, or maybe over here, you can put in a trapdoor to a basement, which is pretty cool. And then, like I said, oh yeah, it's on both sides. Right about here, you've got your second story supports, and you have this walkway up top, which will then create a space for a couple of bedrooms, sitting rooms, stuff like that. And you can build on, I believe it's on this side. I think it's dependent on if you put up any towers. But yeah, you can have a little outdoor porch. Look at that. That sky is just gorgeous today. Gorgeous this evening. All right, well, let's see what we can do about finishing off this, this main structure of the house. So we will go ahead and we will put on our roof framing, our second story walls, and we need 25 more nails, and we can close this place in. So let's do 10, 20, 30. Cool. And yes, this iron arrow that's just going to stay here forever. One of those, you got shot with an iron arrow and it ended up in your inventory. Main hall roof. Boom. So yeah, you can build a cellar. You need a bunch of quarried stone. And there's some pretty cool things that you can put down in the cellar. I'm not going to worry about a cellar too much right now, if I'm going to be honest. But now that everything is enclosed, you can start to see a little bit of... I think those are supposed to sort of be like windows. It looks like there's light on the interior. There are no sconces or anything built yet, but it's just a, you know, just a nice little addition that it sort of looks a little bit lived in now. So yeah, let's go take a look inside now. You can see the main house is quite a bit bigger than the first little foyer area. But let's take a look. Let's take a look. Cool. So now, this is no longer a loading screen door. I wish we could get rid of this door. I don't think you can. No, probably not. Maybe outside you can, but I'm not sure. I don't think you can actually get rid of that door. I would love to be able to get rid of that door, but I just don't think you can. So yeah, you can put in your fireplace, chandeliers, you know, enchanter, an alchemy lab, all these mounted animals, of course, weapon racks. This area only comes with one of those creepy, weird, glitchy mannequins. Got your chair and dining room. Like I said, this main area is sort of the dining area. And then, of course, all your containers and everything. So you've got a workbench for this main area. You come around to this back area and you have a different workbench, complete with its own containers, furniture. This you can actually put up an actual weapon rack. You can put in an anvil inside. And then also in the cellar, you can put in a smelter and a full blacksmith's workshop downstairs, which is pretty cool. So this room has its own workbench. And then, as I said, the upstairs is typically the living quarters. So you come over here and there is a workbench. I think there's just one workbench for the whole upstairs. Yeah, one workbench for the whole upstairs. But this is where you can add in double beds, a couple of single beds. This is where you can really get stuff going. So one important thing we're gonna need is a bed for ourselves. And oh, I can't remember which one goes where. So you know what, why don't we just make both? Why don't we just make both beds? Because basically you get, you get 2 beds in here for guest quarters, and then you sort of have your master living quarters over here. So now, I don't know that she will do it automatically, because sometimes followers can get a little weird with that, but she will either automatically, Lydia that is, will either automatically come here, start making her way from Breezehome and Whiterun, or on one of my trips back to Whiterun to gather up my stuff, because I will be emptying out Breezehome. It'd be nice if there was a mechanic to be able to resell homes or rent it out to somebody for some passive income. But yes, now we can sleep. We can stay here. We don't have a fireplace or a cook stove. We don't have anything to eat. We don't have chairs or anything. But as long as you have beds, you're good to go. So, I don't think I want to do too much in here. what about this main area? Maybe what we should do is we should get, let's go ahead and put in our fireplace. We'll take a look. That should be about against this back wall. So now, of course, we've got a cooking pot, some odds and ends up here. So we've got some things that we can cook. What's nice about this is I believe you can take these cabbages, elves ears, if you want, the garlic. You can snag those things and you can put them out in your garden. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab the garlic because we want to put some garlic out there. Let me grab this cabbage. We'll see. I don't know. Some of the things you can plant, some things you can't. I know you can plant tomatoes, so I'll grab those tomatoes. So let's jump back outside. Pop a couple of these things in the ground. It's more just for an aesthetic. I don't really get into the cooking in Skyrim, although some of the things you can cook are pretty OP. As far as like some magicka regen and some different perks, like you can really cook up some pretty cool stuff. I think that's probably because they wanted, like, there really isn't much benefit to eating in this game. I mean, like, you can get a few HP restored or stamina restored or whatever. I think it's more for the role play. But they made some of the food that you can actually cook yourself. Now, not the stuff you can buy. That stuff's usually worthless. But the food that you cook yourself is pretty complex and has some pretty good benefits as far as buffs. So fertile soil. Oh, nice. So I can put in the cabbage. But I guess maybe I can't. Nope, I guess I cannot plant the tomato. So I was wrong. I guess the cabbages are the only things that I could plant. Well, we haven't eaten anything in a long time. We'll just eat garlic and tomatoes. Which actually doesn't sound too bad. Cool. Good deal. Oh, and there goes that deer running off. Yeah, if you ever need venison, it just runs around the backyard. But, yeah. Let's see about popping inside. I think we'll probably hang our hat up for the day. And then maybe we'll see what we get into when the day is new. Yeah, so now this is nice. Oh, one thing I do want to do. My resist poison glowing there. Exterior. There we go. So these are interior wall sconces. You lack... okay, because I don't have iron fittings. But now, I guess we'll go back outside. Loading screen to loading screen to loading screen to loading screen. I guess maybe here we will check out the exterior real quick. See what that looks like. And then we will hang our hat up for the day. And see what tomorrow brings. See if Lydia rolls in here or not, or if I've got to go fetch her. Which I don't mind having to take a little trip to Whiterun. We're not too far away. This is I'll be honest, I've actually never built a Hearthfire home anywhere but here in Falkreath. I've never built any of the other homes in any of the other locations, mainly because I really like this area. Back when I first purchased these DLCs, I looked around the map at where... Oh, nice eagle up there. I looked around at where the other houses could be put, and I just wasn't all about it. But yeah, you get two nice little wall sconces right outside. While I am out here, I guess I will just run over here to the anvil and get a few more iron fittings. I think it's ridiculous that you just get generic iron fittings, but they cost one full ingot. It should be something like nails where you get maybe not even 10, maybe if you got 5. You know, with hinges, with the materials you use for hinges and iron and corundum ingots, you get 2 hinges. Is it? Maybe it's just 2 iron, but nonetheless, you get 2 hinges, which is interesting because these doors have way more than that. They've got 6 hinges, 3 hinges per door. Yeah. But now that we've got some iron fittings, let's go ahead and put up some wall sconces in here. There we go. Some nice interior lighting. So that gives us a few wall sconces down there. Let's see about a few wall sconces, some lighting inside. So we've got this large chandelier. Perfect. That'll hang up right. I thought it was right there. Yep, it is. I didn't look up high enough. So we've got those. I could go back in the back room and put some sconces, but I don't think we need them. Well, I think I'll just check this workbench and see what kind of lighting we can get going on here. So we still don't have enough iron fittings because I didn't make enough. But yeah, you can get a couple more, you can get a few more chandeliers in here. But I'm not going to go back outside to worry about making any more iron fittings for tonight. But I do think what we will do is we will pack it in for the evening, get a nice 8 hours of sleep, and start fresh tomorrow.
You didn't think that you were the only one. He was the first. Dragonborn.
Well, everyone, I think that's about as good a place as any to wrap up this episode. If you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe. We really appreciate all of the support that we've gotten so far. If there's something you want to chat about, leave it down in the comments. I always respond to comments. And I guess we'll see what all that was about on the next episode.